Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for a bit of breaking news. By the time this has come out, you've already seen it, but I could not hesitate. I could not even think for a second not to make a video on this situation. Big news in football once again. Kylian Mbappe wants to be the center of attention. He wants to be in the limelight after his Ballon d'Or future rival Erling Haaland picked up his treble a couple of days ago. Mbappe wants to make this summer about himself again, sending a letter to PSG officials saying that he is not going to trigger the clause to extend his contract until 2025. He's not going beyond 2024, which is next summer. PSG are shocked because there's no legal reason for him to really go and do that, to send them the letter, but he did it anyway. And PSG have kind of, according to Fabrizio Romano, they've responded in saying, listen, you either need to sign a new contract or you need to leave right now, because we're not letting you go for free. We're not letting the highest player in terms of markability, in terms of finances and fees right now, transfer fees. This is the biggest amount of money you can command for a player in world football, more than Messi, more than Ronaldo. This guy is now the highest valued player in world football commercially, markability, like I said, transfer fee wise. This guy is meant to be coming, a king's ransom should be coming for Mbappe in terms of the fee, and he's trying to walk out of here for free. And PSG are saying absolutely not. You either sign a new deal or you're leaving right now. Pack your bags right now. Go get your toothbrush, go get your pajamas, your slippers, yeah? Leave your SPF, get it all, pack up your shit and get out right now. Now this is incredible because this is the same PSG that have lost Messi to Inter Miami literally last week. Neymar is now going to be flying the flag, and to be honest, they've been very open reportedly about letting, being open to Neymar leaving the club. He's been linked with us, which I don't really cover because it's all, it's all foolishness. But also there's been links with Saudi, etc. But Neymar has been an open conversation, open dialogue for them to get rid. And they have been kind of trying to build the team around Mbappe, it seems, for future years and build a more French core. Now they've brought in Asensio, they've been linked with Wilfried Zaha, which I was shocked with, right? And it seems like Mbappe is like, yo, you know what? You guys are not serious. I said I want elite level players in this team. I said that I want a striker. I think it was reported last summer he wanted a striker so he could move to the left flank. Asensio, Wilfried Zaha's, Agate's, it's not going to cut it for Mbappe. So he's now looking to potentially go. And this is after, basically rejecting Real Madrid last summer and, bowing down to the president or prime minister of France and, all of these extra things that he got, these little bonuses, massive said in the club and all these other reports about being on the board and all this craziness. Guy's bigger than the game at this point, bigger than the club he's trying to move like. And I want to discuss his options. Because when a player like this becomes available on the market, and he is currently available on the market, right? He is now officially available on the market for transfer if he's not going to sign a new deal. There's only a few select clubs that can afford, first of all, and that can even, entertain him. Now, unfortunately, I'm about to tell you we ain't one of those clubs. Now, a lot of you already know that, but there's a few minority that are dreaming, apparently used to support us as a kid. We do not have a hope. We do not have a prayer. There is not a singular, microscopic chance, decimal number that we have of getting this guy. Not without Champions League, with all the money we spent. You look back now with all the money we've spent. And listen, I've said it before, the January transfer window and the summer transfer window can be separated. But funnily enough, with all the money we've spent, and then now big names come up on the transfer market like this. If we had secured top four, if buts and maybes, if we had not spent all that money and we weren't, trying to sell to, get in line, balancing books, FFP, we could have potentially at least gone in for a player like this if we had had a normal season, got into the top four, had money in the bank after being debt free. We could have at least been in the conversation. I'm not saying we would have got him, absolutely not. We're not favourites by any stretch of the imagination, even under Roman Abramovich, in Chelsea's recent history of where they've been at. But we would have been able to put our chips on the table. We would have been able to enter, the hat. But we can't do that. So we're not involved. For me, it comes down to three clubs. It won't be Bayern Munich, obviously. They just don't have the financial muscle to even pull off a deal of this magnitude. Obviously, Real Madrid are in this conversation. No club in Italy is in this conversation. Barcelona are not in this conversation. Financially, they have been in recent years really cutting it fine. And they never really put an official proposal, it seemed, for Messi. despite the fact that Xavi tried to, you know, tap dance on media briefings. So it is between, for me, Real Madrid, Manchester United, and I have to throw in Arsenal as well. Now, the latter, the Premier League, latter two options are way, way, way below in terms of favourites. You know, Real Madrid are head and shoulders, of course, the team that it makes the most sense because they've got the financial muscle. They're looking for a forward. They're looking for multiple forwards. And what does this do for us in terms of Kai Havertz? Well, obviously at the moment, the Kai Havertz deal is off. So that was already reported before this came out tonight. But we have potentially set an asking price too high for Kai Havertz. If Real Madrid are going to go in for Mbappe, it's going to cost a minimum of 150 million pounds, I would assume. They're looking for around about 180 million euros apparently, reportedly, but again, it's too early to tell. That is going to take up the vast majority of Real Madrid's transfer budget, if not all of it, after getting Bellingham. They're not going to have any time to be talking to us about Kai Havertz, even for 40 million. Even if they were going to entertain a deal for 40 million, if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, you can forget about Kai Havertz going to Real Madrid. You can forget about, obviously, Harry Kane. Not that I don't think that was going to happen anyway. So we have not only priced Havertz out of the market for Real Madrid, because they've decided they're not going to pay the 60 million or whatever-ish that we're looking for, 65, but we also now, you know, if Mbappe goes there, it's absolutely not happening. So Real Madrid are sitting there favourites. They were interested in last summer. They have the financial muscle. Obviously, as a club, they're big enough to entertain Mbappe. Mbappe, it would be a dream for him to go and play for Real Madrid. To go and, you know, obviously we've just seen that Vinicius Junior's taken the number 7 shirt. So I'm already trying to think in my brain what shirt number he would wear. Probably maybe number 9. Obviously, Benzema's gone to Saudi, so there's a slot opening up there as well. It all makes sense as to why Mbappe could and should go to Real Madrid. There's a slot open. They need a striker. They need to finish off that front three. It'll be Vinicius, Rodrigo, Mbappe. Doesn't get any more devastating than that. Bellingham behind, Valverde, if he, you know, he'll probably stay, I'm sure. Tchouaméni and Camavinga in terms of the younger players, and obviously you've still got Modric and Toni Kroos, so it's ridiculous. That's the favourite. But the reason why I mentioned Manchester United and Arsenal is because in the Premier League, they're also looking potentially at a striker. Now, Arsenal are reportedly about to close a deal for Declan Rice. Seems like it's going to be about 80 million plus add-ons, rising above 100 million. Jacob Steinberg has reported that, has put that out there. Now, if Arsenal are going to get Declan Rice for that amount of money and they're still interested in Caicedo, then the amount of money for a player like Mbappe is it's not looking good, bruv. But if they don't, if they see this as an opportunity to be like, you know what, we could replace Thierry Henry. We could replace Thierry Henry. We could bring some more of that va-va-voom back to the Emirates, more of that French vibe to the Emirates, like the Patrick Vieira's, the Thierry Henrys, all these guys, Gallas. Gallas. I just put Gallas in it. It's crazy. That was rude. But if they see that as an opportunity and they want to test the waters, Arsenal have the financial capacity. They have the flexibility in their funds. After qualifying for the Champions League, they have money. They could pay 150 million for Mbappe. That's why I bring them up. They're in the Champions League. They have got prestige in terms of, you know, they're a big club. They have had French superstars in their team before, people that Mbappe would have looked up to. If he wants to maybe bring Arsenal back to where they once were, that's an incredible challenge for a player like him. And like I said, he doesn't have an array of opportunities in terms of like clubs that could go in for him. So it's not like everybody's going to put their name in the ring here, because they can't. Like Liverpool are not going to put their name in the ring. Man City have Haaland and Alvarez. There's only like 2-3 clubs that I'm bringing up here that actually have a chance of getting him. So Mbappe hasn't got much choice because he's that good. And if Real Madrid don't go in for him, or they're like, you know what, you mugged us off last year. You said you didn't want to come to us. No one's bigger than Real Madrid. Perez wants to be stubborn and he says, you know what, I'm not interested right now. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to focus on what I was on before. Then where else is he going to go but the Premier League? So Arsenal I bring up because they have the financial muscle to do it, even though for me they would sit probably maybe third on this list, just because again that would be that would be an insane move. Man United have to be brought up because again, if the takeover happens, and this is why I mentioned them last, because if Man United got the takeover done and it was the right takeover in terms it was Qatar that took them over, not Jim, then Man United I move up to second because, you know, Man United are financially just a juggernaut at that point. They got Qatar back in, you know, they've got ridiculous, unstoppable amounts of funds to their, you know, to come revenue, everything. It's just financially they're unstoppable now. Man United were already financially quite incredible with the revenue that they bring in and all of that. But now with a Qatar ownership, if that was to happen, they could more than afford Mbappe. It wouldn't even be a question. They'd just go straight in and go and get him if the 100% sale of the club was to be done in time. And they need a striker. And it does start to write that Hairline versus Mbappe, Manchester derby, two clubs from Manchester going for the title, the two bald-headed managers in Ten Hag and Pep. It writes that story. It writes, the script is there. So again, I want to make this very clear. Real Madrid are head, shoulders, knees, toes, chests. I'm not going to go any further. They're way clear of everybody in terms of this race because they just are. That just goes without saying. However, if you need two other clubs to throw into the mix because we can't throw anybody else out there, don't even talk to me about Italy, like I said. Don't talk to me about Germany. Don't talk to me about the other Premier League clubs. People will say Newcastle, but there's just no chance. And I've even seen reports that Newcastle only have 75 million to spend. Just again, not going to happen. It's those three clubs. You let me know in the comments down below where you order them, where you place them in terms of an order. Obviously, I think Real Madrid will be top for everyone. Am I waffling by even mentioning Arsenal and Manchester United, or do you actually think I have a point? What is going to happen with Kylian Mbappe? Because not only is this potentially the biggest transfer saga of the summer now already, but it would be the biggest move this summer, hands down. Nobody will eclipse it, come close to it, and it has a knock-on effect for a lot of other deals. If Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, Havertz, of course, doesn't go anywhere in terms of that move from Chelsea. If he goes to Manchester United, then other strikers like Manuani and Hairline and all these other players that have been linked to Manchester United recently, potentially they become available for other clubs. If he goes to Arsenal, obviously Caicedo definitely doesn't happen. I don't think they get Caicedo, Rice and Mbappe. So if that was to ever happen, which again would be incredible, it'd be mad, then Caicedo definitely maybe leans towards Chelsea. So there's a lot going on here. A lot of moving pieces. It's early doors. It's only just come out as breaking news, but it is massive news and it is potentially a long summer. And if he's not signing an extension, I have to say this again, just to clarify before we complete the video. I will be coming back with another video tomorrow on Chelsea news. I know there's a lot going on with Chelsea and thinking, where is the video? When are you going to speak on Inter Milan? I'm dropping that video tomorrow morning. I have been away with the news. I'm recovering from Prague and Champions League and the season, but I am coming now with daily videos again this week. And obviously I'm going to New York next week. More videos are coming. London Club's Carnage is coming as well tomorrow in the evening, hopefully, if it comes back to me in time. So, but it's getting edited in studio. Really good video. Great podcast, final of the season. So we're going with this. Who's he going to go to? And also, like I said, the knock-on effects. Lots of knock-on effects. And breathe. It's only just come out, but it could be emphatically, bombastically, drastically massive if this actually happens. So stay tuned for this Mbappe saga. And it's a shame that we can't participate. We need a striker. But like I said, I'm not stupid enough to even start waffling about it, because you already know. Let's not be silly now. We're 12th. Let's not be silly. Until next time, big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.